This is my Grandpa Dill and Grandma Dora Neal Crabtree. They made a home for their family in Morgan County, Tennessee, near the Emory River. They had a smokehouse, a hen house, and grew their own vegetables. I remember Grandma churning butter and washing clothes in a tub with a washboard. Grandpa also worked as a signalman for the railroad. One day he turned away after signaling a conductor to pull forward. The next thing he knew, the train was backing over him. He lived but lost his right arm. Grandpa never cashed his last check from the railroad because they only paid him for half that day when he was injured, saying he just lay there for the other half of the day. He framed it and hung it on the wall. When we lived near them as a little girl, I remember seeing Grandpa plowing the fields with his mule and hand plow, holding on with his one good arm. I never noticed anything he hadn't found a way to do to keep running the farm and providing for his family. Grandma and Grandpa had a Christmas wedding on the 25th of December, 1922 in Pickett County, Tennessee. Their original marriage record was destroyed in a fire when the courthouse burned down in 1934. This is their home in Oakdale, Morgan County, Tennessee. The old smokehouse is still standing. Grandma Dora's sister Pearl and brother Elmer came and lived with them when they were newlyweds, helping out on the farm. They lost their first baby, Ruby Hazel, but a few years later they had Uncle Edward, followed by Aunt Gertie, and my mom, Maxine, Everett, George, and then Fox. Grandpa Dill was the first son of George Washington Crabtree and Martha Cook Smith. George was the son of Baylor and Amanda Millsaps Crabtree. These are George and Martha's children: Oscar, Fount, Lucy, Grandpa Dill, Austin, Bertha, along with Great-Grandpa George and Great-Grandma Martha. Oscar, Fount, and Austin were teachers, and Lucy was a Bible teacher who was broadcast on the radio. Baylor Crabtree was the son of Hiram and Ida Delt Crabtree. Ida was thought to be a Cherokee woman. Best I can tell, she may have been one-quarter Cherokee. Martha was from Mount Pisgah in Wayne County, Kentucky. She was the daughter of John and Vi Sandusky Smith. Most people knew her as Cook. These are Great-Grandma's sisters and brothers: Elmira, Millard, John Calvin, Kezia, Henry Clay, along with Great-Grandma Martha, and Hughes, and their father, Great-Great-Grandpa John L. Smith. When John was a young man, he and his friends came in from hunting one day in 1871 and threw their guns on Polly Davenport's kitchen table. One of the guns discharged, killing Polly. John and Polly's son William filed an affidavit telling about this horrible accident. Daughter Laura and her husband Maynard are on the left, and John and Vi to the right. I love this picture of Great-Great-Grandma holding one of her grandbabies. After she died, the family moved from Mount Pisgah to town. They had a home on South Main Street in Monticello. John's mother was Kezia Smith, the daughter of Drury Smith and Polly Tye. She had 4 other sons, all half-brothers. Great-Great-Grandpa John was raised by his mother's first cousin, Elizabeth, and her husband, Stephen Gibson. Great-Great-Grandma Vi was the daughter of Emmanuel Sandusky and Mary Funderburk. Mary was known as a Cherokee woman. Best I can figure, she was one-quarter blood. Emmanuel's mother may have been Cherokee too, but none of the family named her in the Ian Miller applications. The family lived in Mount Pisgah in Wayne County. The family home is gone, but the farm is beautiful to this day. This was the view from their home. All that remains of their house today is this chimney. A short distance away are the remains of the spring house.
Take me back to yesterday.
Grandma Dora Neal was the daughter of Isaac Lewis Neal and Texas Ann Carter. They raised 15 children and 2 grandchildren in Sunnybrook, Wayne County, Kentucky. Boys in the back row are Willie, Denton, Freeman, Charlie, and Omar. The girls in the middle row would be Daisy, Pearl, Ella, Grandma Dora, and Matilda, with Brother Osco on the end. The front row is Mossy, Boise, Isaac Lewis, Elmer, Texas, and Ina. Isaac Lewis and Texas were married December 21st, 1886 at James Bridgman's home. James was Texas's stepfather, but he raised her as his own. Texas was diabetic and ended up going blind as she got older. She told Aunt Gertie, born in 1929, that she was the last grandbaby she was able to see. Their home in Sunnybrook is still standing. In fact, the porch swing is still hanging on the front porch. It was so cool to see all the thought and fine craftsmanship that went into their home. Every summer, Grandpa Dill would put all the kids in his wagon and drive them over to Fentress County for a couple of weeks to visit with their Crabtree grandparents, and then on to Sunnybrook to visit with their Neal grandparents. So this family that worked together to make a home and run this farm stayed close over the years.
Wander back into the past, then paint me the picture.
Texas Ann Carter was the daughter of Lavernia Carter and stepfather James Calvin Bridgman. Best I can figure, this picture has 3 generations of my grandmas in it. Left to right, it would be James Bridgman, Elvina McFarland Carter, Elizabeth, Texas, and Lavernia holding Nettie. Dillard and Dora Crabtree's daughter Maxine was my mom. She married Larry Baptist in 1953. I'm their daughter Joyce. I was raised by my mother after my father left. This picture he took of me is one of the only mementos I have of him. He loved photography. I'm so proud of our ancestors and how they carved out a life for our family and laid a foundation for generations after them.